Well, it seems like we've had a very long leaf raking season. In fact, we're still raking leaves. It's been one of those falls when they didn't all fall at the same time. And if you're still raking up leaves in your own yard, it's a good opportunity to start a compost pile because there's all this great organic matter that's there. And it would be wonderful with all of this organic matter not to haul it off to the dump, but to start compost. But if you've ever piled leaves up, you notice that they don't break down very quickly, especially really large leaves like the sycamore or the London plane tree. There are some things that you can do to help speed up the process. And the first thing that you want to do is to shred them. If you don't have a shredder, just run your mower over. Like here, you could just run your mower over these leaves and then put them in the compost pile. That will help them be in smaller pieces. The next thing that you can do is increase the nitrogen content because leaves don't have a lot of nitrogen in them when they're dry like this. Put about 1 part of manure, if you have a source for it, to 5 parts leaves, and that will add enough nitrogen to go ahead and start that breaking down process. Now, if you don't have access to manure, you can add about 2 cups of blood meal or bone meal or alfalfa meal to about a wheelbarrow full of leaves, and again, that will add nitrogen that can help that process. Now, if you don't have trees already that need raked, but you're thinking about planting some trees, you might consider planting some no-rake trees. Now, when I'm talking about no-rake trees, it doesn't mean that the trees don't have leaves or that they rake themselves. However, it does mean that they have small leaves, and these leaves will break down quickly. Now, the classic example of a no-rake tree is a bald cypress. It's a conifer, but it's a deciduous conifer whose leaves turn kind of bronzy and brown and then fall off in the fall. And here you can see just how crumbly they are and how small. Now, if we look down here on the ground, while it looks like there's a lot of leaves here right now, these are going to break down very quickly and they won't even need to be raked. They'll disappear by the end of the winter because they are so fine. Now, this isn't the only tree that has no rake. Usually trees that have small leaves work very well for this. Some other possibilities include a really great tree for our area, the lacebark elm. Lacebark elm, again, have the small leaves. They'll break down very quickly. A Kentucky coffee tree, which is a native to Oklahoma, a very tough tree and has compound leaves, also doesn't need to be raked. However, you need to watch out because if you have a female Kentucky coffee tree, you won't have to contend with the leaves, but you will have to contend with the fruits and the seeds. Another great tree is the Chinese pistache. Again, they have a compound leaf, falls to the ground, breaks down very quickly. So, if you're considering planting new trees and you really don't like to rake, try planting a no-rake tree.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.